Good morning and welcome to Commencement at ICO. We're glad to have everybody here today. We have 122 out of the 132 graduates with us in person. We have 38 of our full-time faculty in attendance, a handful of administrative staff, and probably a few thousand people viewing from home via the live stream. It's great to be with all of you today. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of Illinois College of Optometry, Dr. Mark Collop.
COVID can't take away all of our traditions. I'd like to welcome everyone to ICO's 178th commencement program. I'm delighted to see the class of 2021 together and in person here at Illinois College of Optometry. Graduates, you made it. This is truly a historic day. I welcome the family, friends, alumni, and board members that are joining us in the virtual environment. I must admit, I miss the extra festive atmosphere, the excitement that goes along with having everyone together in one location for this wonderful event. But it's already better than last year, where we were here speaking to an empty room. Today's filled with enthusiasm, accomplished young doctors, and members of their faculty. This past year of operating under pandemic conditions has been a year of constant adjustments and pivots for everyone. We could lament about all that was missed, but that wouldn't change anything. I prefer to focus on what we are able to do and recognize the outstanding accomplishments of these fine young doctors. You all look amazing here today. You're in doctoral caps and gowns, soon to be wearing Doctor of Optometry hoods that signify those extraordinary accomplishments. You can ask anyone around ICO. I love ICO's commencement ceremony and the doctoral hooding that goes along with it. I truly enjoy it, and I look forward to it each and every year. It's such a culmination of celebration of so many accomplishments in everyone's lives. Certainly for the members of the class of 2021, but also for the loved ones and relatives and friends that have supported each and every one of you through your journey. It's been challenging, and not just COVID challenging, but real life challenging, that everyone has sacrificed to be here today. You gave precious parts of your lives to prepare yourself just to be accepted to ICO. It takes a special person to subject themselves to learning seemingly mountains of basic science, facts, and figures, and that was required just to apply for consideration for admission to ICO. That foundational knowledge prepared you for the deeper learning and gave you the toolbox that you needed to take on ICO's curriculum. You then went on to apply, compete for acceptance, and make the decision to attend ICO, knowing full well that this program would challenge you beyond what most people can imagine in the academic and clinical settings. You persevered each week, each examination, each practical, and there were a lot of them, and each national board examination. Many of you traveled to other states to participate in clinical settings that would broaden your experiences even more. Members of the ICO class of 2021, no one ever told you that it would be easy, and yet, here you are today. The sacrifices have been many, but doesn't that make the celebration that much more sweet? The rewards will be even more abundant, and I tell you will span the rest of your lives. And yes, rewards, and yes, for the rest of your lives. You've each earned the privilege of taking care of your fellow human beings and improving their eyesight and general health. And you'll earn a comfortable lifestyle for that privilege. For some of you, this may have been one of your main motivating factors. But for many more, this was your calling. Optometry is what you were meant to do. You see, in my book, a calling is much deeper than a career or even a profession. A calling signifies what you're most passionate about. And for the majority of you, I think that includes optometry. I've always said that in my humble opinion that it takes passion to get the most out of this program. It takes passion to rise above the daily grind and learn to excel and achieve at the level required by ICO's faculty. You've each done that, and you've done it very well. You've achieved something truly remarkable and special. You've become a different person in the process. You've become highly knowledgeable, and you've become a healer, and you're now ready to go out and help people see better and to diagnose and treat ocular diseases and take your place in the patient's healthcare team. A high calling indeed. And that's rare. Dare I say that each of you have become gifted in the past 4 years. You've achieved something really valuable, your ICO doctoral degree. Soon, you'll be licensed to practice. And now, today, you've all returned here to ceremonially collect your recognition and be hooded in order to earn the title of doctor. A worthy endeavor indeed. For this, you should be proud. I know that your parents and friends and family, and they are proud, and they should be. You earned it, and now you're going to be called doctor by everyone around you because you earned it. You all did it. My personal pride in each of your accomplishments could not be higher, and I know that I'm speaking on behalf of every faculty member and every staff and employee here at Illinois College of Optometry. The recognition and sense of pride that each of you are experiencing here today is why we all do what we do each and every day. Today signifies the fact that our work with you has come to an end. You're now ready to take the next steps in earning your place in the patient's healthcare system. You're each prepared to do great things in the communities that you'll be serving. ICO class of 2021, you are going to do great things. This I know. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker. Though he's known to every member of the class of 2021 and to every graduate of ICO, in fact, for the last 38 years. Dr. Gary Lesher, would you please stand? Our speaker today has been teaching at ICO since 1983. I'm proud to say that he was my pharmacology professor. Dr. Lesher received his Bachelor of Science degree from Carroll College, then went on to Purdue University, where he achieved the Doctor of Philosophy degree in pharmacology in 1977. He immediately began teaching pharmacology, and he was recruited to ICO 6 years later. Each year, as we're planning ICO's commencement program, we rack our brains and try and identify a speaker that can relate with the graduating class, speak to their tremendous accomplishments, have an appreciation for the role played by family and friends, and appreciate the role that faculty and staff have played in the achievements of this wonderful day of celebration. As we pared down the list of worthwhile names up for consideration, the wishes of the class of 2021 were given extra consideration this year, and for many good reasons. The class was quite clear on their first choice for speaker because of the impact he's had on the class, as well as on over 5,000 members of previous ICO graduating classes. You see, he started teaching the pharmacology sequence of courses to ICO students back in 1983, as I mentioned. In addition to teaching pharmacology, he's been a researcher, administrator, board member, author, department chair, and he's provided countless hours of testimony before state legislatures nationwide in his advocacy for expanding the prescribing privileges of optometrists. And he could be very compelling and persuasive because of his firsthand knowledge of what he was teaching and what his students were learning and prescribing. It is my pleasure to introduce ICO's Professor of Pharmacology and Toxicology, and now Professor Emeritus, and ICO's 2021 commencement speaker, our colleague, our friend, our mentor, Dr. Gary Lesher.
Thank you very much, President Kopp. That was wonderful. I'm not sure that's all me or not, but It is my pleasure to welcome you, as well as everybody has welcomed you, the Illinois College of Optometry class of 2021, and as well the ICO faculty and my colleagues who are all here in the lecture center, and also to welcome parents, families, and friends of the graduates who are viewing us online. Welcome to this, the 178th commencement ceremony of the Illinois College of Optometry. For me, and most of you, welcome back to campus on this momentous day. Many of you have been out at externship sites all around the country, and all of you have been dealing with the many COVID-related guidelines and restrictions while still trying to give your best patient care safely and effectively. This must have been one of the most challenging fourth years in the history of any optometry school. And today, at this commencement ceremony, regardless of these many difficulties, you will become doctors of optometry. Your presence here today in person, yet socially distant, to celebrate your graduation is a great sign that things may soon be near normal, or at least near to a new normal. I cannot tell you how honored I feel to be your commencement speaker. While we have not seen one another for almost 2 years, we have kept in touch, to a degree, on Facebook. I am always happy to see the many posts from the class. What site you selected as a third year, pictures from Charlotte after passing the board exams, travel pics from your externship sites around the country, and when you post pictures from one of our national parks, I'm especially charmed. Speaking of which, how about you get out your clickers for a National Park of the Day question? Even though we had the pandemic, my wife and I rented an RV in late September last year and headed south. We added a couple of new national parks to our list, bringing us to 43 or 44, depending on whether you count the Gateway Arch, which we've been to, but long before it was designated as a national park. This is Mesa Verde, Petrified Forest, Mammoth Cave, or Congaree National Park. Wait for it. There we go. This is Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, one of the ones we went to on our southern swing. When we met last May for the last time, in 2019, there were only 61 national parks. Now there are 63. Which two national parks are the newest? There we are. New River Gorge National Park and Preserve in West Virginia, which we also visited on our RV trip, and White Sands National Park in New Mexico. I think many of you took advantage of your externship year to visit the national parks near your different sites. Here are just a few of those Facebook posts. You should see Ben and Kim and Ashley, Chelsea, Alyssa and Nate, and Pranya. So match them to their national parks. And any moment now. There we go. So Congaree, Grand Canyon, of course, and the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I think Kim may have set the class record for national park visits in the past year with posts from at least 4 different parks. Way to go, Kim. Of course, in this past year, the world has seen a global pandemic that has and continues to devastate the world in which we live. Interestingly, at no time in history has it been more apparent that understanding pharmacology is critical to your everyday lives. The scientific and medical communities around the world have made a monumental effort to develop effective treatments and effective vaccines to help combat and control this pandemic. You all have the needed knowledge and understanding of science and medicine to educate your patients on this important healthcare crisis. You know the importance of clinical trials and placebo controls. You know how vaccines work. You know how therapeutic interventions can work. You know how to balance risks, minimal with vaccines, with the benefits, overwhelming. Without getting too political, this should not be a political question. It is all about the science and the underlying pharmacology. If you simply look at the numbers, more than 95% of all the citizens in the world have no reason to not get vaccinated. And I am being overly conservative with that estimate, since the only absolute reason to not get vaccinated is an allergy to the COVID vaccine itself. This is generally considered to be less than 1 or 2%. Vaccinated patients are less than 0.01% likely to die from COVID-19. Let me repeat that. Vaccinated patients are less than 0.01% likely to die from COVID-19. Or, looking at that more positively, a vaccinated patient is more than 99.99% protected from a fatal case of COVID. And that is just the benefits for the patient. Additionally, a vaccinated patient is highly unlikely to transmit the COVID virus to anyone else, thus protecting their family and their loved ones, not to mention protecting all the rest of us. As primary healthcare providers, it is your responsibility to educate your patients and help them to understand the basic science and pharmacology of vaccines. We all need to step up and help to get this pandemic under control and hopefully return to a more normal existence. Vaccination is our best way to accomplish this goal. You can and should do this. Now, during this pandemic, you have adjusted, adapted, pivoted, and simply done whatever you needed to do to continue your training in the face of unprecedented difficulties. And you did not just overcome these difficulties, but as a class, you have excelled in every aspect of your education. Your classroom knowledge and clinical skills have all been tested during lengthy and rigorous national board exams. While the scores for Part 3 of the national boards are not yet available, the results for Part 1 of the board exam, my favorite part, show that the ICO class of 2021 outdid the national average by 10%. You crushed it. On Part 2, you outdid the national average by almost 6%. And of course, in the section of the exam that I am always looking at, pharmacology, the ICO class of 2021 outdid the national average by more than 2.5%. And we all know this is the hardest part of the exam. Speaking of pharmacology questions, it would not be a class meeting without a drug of the day question or two. This slide should look familiar, as we had over 140 or so questions every quarter. Not that many today. Which of the following drugs is the first drug available to treat thyroid eye disease? Latanoprostene, netarsudral, teprotumumab, or resveratrol? Teprotumumab, approved in June of 2020 to treat Graves' disease. It is obviously a monoclonal antibody, with the MAB there at the end, which in this case antagonizes a receptor in the orbit, preventing stimulation of the fibroblasts, which in turn decreases inflammation and swelling, which is thought to cause exophthalmos, which often accompanies this disease. Latanoprostene and netarsudral are both relatively new anti-glaucoma drugs. And we all know resveratrol is an antioxidant found in many, many good Cabernets. And as good as that is, it has not yet been proven to help treat thyroid eye disease. Given what you've learned about pharmacology, which of the following statements are true? You are the best educated ODs. Your clinical competency is second to none. You are ready to provide the best and most appropriate patient care. Of course, they're all true. And when all is said and done, keep calm and study pharm. Pharmacology is the answer. You can be the best if you keep learning every day. You can be the best if you work to improve your clinical skills every day. You can be the best if you treat each patient as an individual every day. You can be the best if you respect everyone every day. Indeed, you can be the best. You are the best educated and up-to-date doctors of optometry on the planet. Go out there and do your very best every day. Thank you again for this wonderful, wonderful honor. And congratulations to you, the Illinois College of Optometry class of 2021. Good luck, doctors. Thanks again. Thank you.
Each year, each class at ICO selects a professor that went above and beyond in impacting their education that year. In fact, the plaque reads, "In appreciation and honor of your knowledge, skill, and dedication to our professional education." The graduating class has the opportunity to select the faculty member that had the biggest impact on their education over the entire 4 years of the curriculum. It is my honor and pleasure to announce on behalf of the ICO class of 2021, the recipient of the Golden Apple Award is Dr. Gary Lesher.
Good morning. I couldn't be more excited than to be here celebrating with the class of 2021 in person. When we welcomed you to ICO back in August of 2017, none of us knew what the future held. I'm sure that none of you expected that most of your clinical education would take place during a pandemic of this magnitude. We got our first glimpse of what was in store when your first national board examination was canceled literally hours before you were scheduled to take it. I remember the angst with which we moved our program from normal live activity to distance education shortly thereafter. Many of you quickly packed up your belongings and left the city for what we thought would be just a few weeks, but then turned into a few months. And just about the time you were to return to us, our nation was rocked by civil unrest and the need for social justice. And yet, here you are. You persevered. You're about to embark upon your optometric careers. Your transformation from eager but very green optometry students to capable and confident eye care practitioners was amazing. I offer my heartfelt congratulations to each of you. In a few moments, I'm going to recognize your class valedictorian, who has achieved an important distinction among her peers. But I also want to tell you that the faculty is so proud of each and every one of you. You successfully completed your classroom training in a remote environment. Despite a 4-month delay, you rocked NBEO Part 1, as Dr. Lesher mentioned, with an 88% pass rate, and did even better on Part 2. You returned to patient care during an uncertain time as healthcare warriors armed only with scrubs, face masks, shields, and lots of disinfectant. And you were fearless. You set aside your concern for self and provided care to an at-risk patient population that desperately needed your services. You've had to forego many of the important events and celebrations that you anticipated during your final year of education, and you did that with grace, maturity, and professionalism. The pandemic has provided you with lessons for which we never planned. You've learned resourcefulness, you've learned resilience and flexibility. You've learned to make decisions with not only personal goals in mind, but with consideration for the entire community. You've developed perspective. And you're not alone. We've been learning these lessons right along with you. I hope that each of you will maintain this perspective as you move on from ICO, and I wish each of you every success. I too see great things in your future. It's now my honor, on behalf of the faculty, to congratulate Ms. Claire Elizabeth Scorseth on her achievement of valedictorian of the class of 2021. I can't think of a better person to represent the academic talents and work ethic that exists within this outstanding class. Congratulations, Claire. Please come forward.
At this time, I'd like to confer the degree of Doctor of Optometry in Memoriam to Tushant Thani Kasagaran in recognition of his progress at ICO before he passed away in March of 2020. His family will receive this diploma in his honor.
Will the class of 2021 please rise, remove your caps, raise your right hands, and repeat after me. With full deliberation, I freely and solemnly pledge that I will affirm the health of my patient and will be my first consideration. I will practice the art and science of optometry faithfully and conscientiously and to the fullest scope of my competence. I will uphold and honorably promote by example and action the highest standards, ethics, and ideals of my chosen profession and the honor of the degree Doctor of Optometry, which has been granted to me. I will provide professional care for those who seek my services with concern, with compassion, and with due regard for their human rights and dignity. I will provide professional care for those who seek my services I will place the treatment of those who seek my care above personal gain and strive to see that none shall lack for proper care. I will hold as privileged and inviolable all information trusted to me in confidence by my patients. I will advise my patients fully and honestly of all which may serve to restore, maintain, or enhance their vision and general health. I will strive continuously to broaden my knowledge and skills so that my patients may benefit from all new and efficacious means to enhance the care of human vision. I will share information cordially and unselfishly with my fellow optometrists and other professionals for the benefit of patients and the advancement of human knowledge and welfare. I will do my utmost to serve my community, my country, and humankind as a citizen as well as an optometrist. I hereby commit myself to be steadfast in the performance of this, my solemn oath and obligation. Thank you, and congratulations to you all. You may be seated.
To the loved ones viewing from home, you've played a critical role in the success of these new doctors, and I'm sure you're rightfully proud. Your support in helping them manage the stressors of our rigorous program, giving them the space and the time to put in that they needed to, and often just being there to hear them vent is something that I'm sure they won't forget. Class of 2021, I invite you to stand and express your appreciation to your loved ones with a round of applause. Please be seated. There are 132 members in the graduating class. They hail from 28 different United States and 2 other foreign countries, including 5 of Canada's provinces. It is worth noting that over 25% of them graduate with high honors today. It has been truly an honor to witness your growth, your challenges, and your successes over these past 4 years. A mentor of mine once told me that the only true emotions are mixed emotions. And I believe this is a day of true emotion. Closing one chapter of your lives and beginning the next is exciting, joyous, sad, scary. At this time, I'd like to ask President Collop and Dean Mesner to join me on the stage, and with the first 2 rows of graduates, please stand and approach. As we begin the doctoral hooding ceremony, I ask those that are physically in the room to please refrain from applause till the end. Those that are viewing remotely, fire it up in the chat all you want to, please. Graduating summa cum laude, Amandeep Batur. Claire Nicole Cordoba. Kimberly Rose Fazio. Benjamin Mark Hinson. Smriti Jain. Grace Seyun Kim. Alyssa Marie Lancaster. Jasmine April Lee. Olivia Ray Nichols. Valerie Okapu. Farisa Siddiqui. William Jorgen Skoog. Claire Elizabeth Scorseth. Melissa Caceres. Natasha Chavla. Dustin Lee Deutsch. Navneet Hans. Kelsey Tyler Jennings. Brian Austin Lee. Alicia Patel. Jake David Rancic. Kelsey Sikora. Erica Taylor Tritch. Carly Ward. Graduating cum laude, Samia Abusharik. Julie Ann Bricker. Aisha Nadeem Chaudhry. Allison Marie Hall. Ashley Marie Hinkle. Christy Camille. Casey Nicole Lenhart. Avery Lyson. Benjamin James McCullochek. Abigail Renee Norris. Jeanette Perez. Tam Tran. Farsana Abdul Ali. Ashley Farron Abiva. Justin Abraham. Zunira Anjum. Aline Ann Augustine. Jennifer Jehi Beck. Jose Martin Barrientos. William Charles Basilian. Tracy Lynn Beckerer. Pranay Bista. Lexi Nicole Brugman. Elia Elizabeth Calderon. Megan Nicole Callahan. Bartholomew Seller. Jeffrey Chamberlain. Ricky Chan. Phoebe Tung Chow. Thomas Peter Collins II. Connor Richard Crumbliss. Carson Sonny Day. Brett Defoe. Pooja Ashish Desai. Gurleen Danoa. Jag Dillon. Lester Ifyanai. Fatmi El Sayed. Tamiko Cristina Escalante. Ashley Ann Esser. Owen Tucker Files. Kelsey Jean Fitzgerald. Randy Joe Kimberly Francis. Emil Abraham George. Monica Gabor. Jason Go. Salvador Gonzalez. Chelsea Marie Goodman. Daniel Hanasek. Scott Hansen. Owen David Henry. Joab Howell. Zachary Levi Hewlett. Adam Hulish. Takara May Humphreys. Amanda Rose ICO. Alina Ishtiak. Fatima Javed. Doris Mimi Jin. Zachary Kamachi. Aaron Mackenzie Klukas. David Korsak. Testin Taijun Kwong. Chelsea Layden. Nikki Jo Lalonde. Jessica C. Larson. Katrina Lee. Jessica Kathleen Lim. Yusheng Liu. Sana Atifa Mullock. Renee Marogi. Mariah Lee Matoxin. Peter Nicholas Miller. Nikita Minhas. Andrew Marua Jr. Nabil Farouk Musal. Hussein Museum. Angel Arizmendi. Christine Wynn. Nathan Paul Pekka. Anna Lee Percival. Ria Rose Phillip. Lilia Maria Poliak. Louisa Livia Prodon. Rabab Rafiq. Claire Rockin. Hassan Abdul Rahman Salam. Fakar Sala. Goli Simek. Kaylin Elizabeth Schaefer. Jung-hee Seo. Amy Shah. Ed J. Shin. Navreet Singh. Erica Lee Smith. Lindsay Smith. Zach Solomon. Basla Sarwar Sukera. Alexandra Susel. Antoinette Thavaraja. Zachary Thomason. Margaret Tran. Michelle Tran. Alyssa Danielle Valenzuela. Jeff Allen Villena. Alyssa Vu. Alyssa Nyok Vu. Todd Wadle. Chinying Michelle Yang.
Would the candidates please stand? President Collip, upon the recommendation of the faculty, the candidates for the degree Doctor of Optometry have pursued their prescribed studies diligently, have passed all required examinations, and have demonstrated commendable proficiency in the art and science of optometry. I therefore recommend that the degree Doctor of Optometry be conferred upon them at this time.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Illinois College of Optometry in the state of Illinois, I hereby confer to those so named the degree Doctor of Optometry with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congratulations, doctors.
If
everyone would please be seated.
Good afternoon, doctors. If you can give me just a minute. As president of the Illinois College of Optometry Alumni Council, and on behalf of over our 8,000 members, I would like to congratulate you on this momentous achievement that you have earned today and welcome you into our ICO Alumni Association. ICO has certainly prepared you with the finest optometric education, and you will leave here today with all the tools and expertise that you need to make profound differences in all of your future patient lives. As time passes, you will reflect on your time here spent at ICO, the 4 years studying so hard in this lecture room, the halls, pre-clinic, clinic, examining each other, and examining your first patient. And that incredible journey will stay with you and become a significant part of you as you move forward in your career. We hope that you will reflect from time to time and look at ICO with great fondness like I do and pride, and use that pride to return, reconnect, and not only with your fellow classmates here today, but the future alum you have yet to meet. All of us that have sat in these same seats before you and all of those who will sit in these seats after you. That is what your Alumni Association is all about. We are here to support you, guide you, help you in any decisions going forward. Your education today does not stop with the hard-earned diploma that you received today. You are about to enter a lifelong journey of self-education and great success, and we are here to support you every step of the way. Your fellow ICO alums all across the country and the world, we wish you nothing but blessings for a long and prosperous career. When I was preparing my speech last night and talking with Dr. Collip earlier today, I really reflected on this past year and how hard it was for all of us out in the field. And we looked to ICO, all of our hardworking faculty, the administration, the staff, and all of you and how you navigated it. And we out in the field actually watched, and we're so proud of you. I can't even imagine. So leave today knowing that any challenge that is ahead of you, you can meet and you will succeed. And enjoy today. Thank you.
At this time in the ceremony, traditionally we would gather an assembly of faculty and graduate chorus to sing our famous alma mater. Given pandemic recommendations and the fact that nobody wants to hear me attempt to solo this piece, let's enjoy a pre-recorded rendition of our alma mater.
I can tell you all from many years' experience that this ceremony doesn't just happen. Many individuals work quite diligently each year to make this wonderful event what it is, and for each of them, I'm particularly grateful and very proud of your good work. In particular, I have to single out and thank Mrs. Sharon Uher. Sharon has planned and orchestrated more ICO commencement programs than I could count. And Sharon, this has been one for the record books, but thank you so much. To our many guests that took time from your schedules to join us for this celebration, we thank you. Graduates, our work with you is now complete. You're ready to go out and do what you've been training to do for many years. Be confident. You did it. As you head out to the wonderful careers and lives awaiting you, please remember that it all started here at ICO. History tells us that most of you will fondly remember specific faculty members that connected with you or helped you out during the past 4 years. Please reach out and reconnect with these folks. I promise you, you'll make somebody smile that day. You see, we all love hearing about your successes. And by the way, ICO class reunions are a great opportunity to visit and reconnect and share those successes with all of us and each other. Doctors, you've accomplished something truly remarkable, and we're very proud of you. You did it. Congratulations, and thank you. And now as we begin the recessional, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. Congratulations, doctors.